the next game we want to talk about and continue that underdog, the weekend of the underdog, the Minnesota Vikings beating the San Francisco 49ers 23-17. Um, it's starting to make me think that, you know what, if you make your offense simple enough for Sam Darnold to let his big strong athletic body just be the show and not make him think too much. Sorry, Sam, I don't mean to call you a dummy. That's not what I'm trying to say. But if you simplify things and you just let him react to it and you let him make plays, maybe he can do something. And Sam went into this. He didn't have his number two receiver in Addison out, didn't have his tight end, lost Jefferson early in the second half. I want to say maybe midway through the second half,
In the third
and
quarter.
they pulled out a W. Uh, and it also makes me think maybe San Francisco really could use Christian McCaffrey, and maybe Brock Purdy does need to have superior talent all around in order to win. These questions are starting to creep in, and where it'll creep in for Brock Purdy, and I'll mention this more on our previewing week 3, is San Francisco is making a decision right now, the front office. Are we going to pay Brock Purdy like he is a cornerstone of this franchise, or can we do better? That they've got to ask themselves that question, because if you look at the two quarterbacks on the field that were both in San Francisco uniforms last year, you couldn't convince me that Sam Darnold wasn't the better of the two. So, with that being said, what the code have to say, and what do you have to say about this?
Um, so we had a bet on the over that ended up losing for us because I mean each team had a possession inside the 5 yard line and turned the ball over. All we needed was one of those to result in six, and that's another unit positive for us. So we did end up losing that one. We made the score approximately 30-24 or so. Uh, so Minnesota pretty much right on
Yep.
23, only 1 point off there. And San Francisco was a couple touchdowns short, which is why we ended up losing our over. I thought Brock was fine. Threw for 320 yards, was 28 to 36. Touchdown, had the one pick. I mean, it to me, I thought it was just untimely turnovers in this game. And it had three. Would they fumble? Yeah, so they fumbled 3 times. Only lost one of them. Lost that fumble, and then had the turnover in the had the interception, I should say. Um, I think the biggest talking point about the 49ers from this game is they gave up 6 sacks,
Mm-hmm.
which it can't protect the quarterback. Jordan Mason was still good. Ran for another 100 yards on the ground. Um, so he racked up 2 nice games without CMC in there. But Minnesota, I mean, you figure out a way to get a win. Um, Ran the ball for almost 150 yards against the 49er defense, which has been part of their problem defensively. And Sam Darnold was good. I thought he was not great, but he was good enough to get a win, and that's all that really matters at the end of the day. So,
Yep. I mean, and once again, it just goes to show that you got to take care of the football in the NFL. Um, I just, I just keep going back to that you cannot have mistakes that cost your team victories, because the margins are so close, and you're hearing it. This is the second week we're talking about this, how close the margins are, and when our code is off, it is that just catastrophic mistake that is costing people going in, whether it's somebody getting hurt in the red zone or a turnover in the red zone, and that leads to losses in the NFL.